See if we can not overheat this phone. It's been scorching lately, 100 degrees. 97, I shouldn't say 100, but it's hot. It's dry hot too. We don't have the humidity that you Midwestern, East Coast guys do, which is give or take. I just drove all the way out to Augusta, Maine a couple weeks ago, and my AC in my truck went out in about Nebraska. And it was pretty uncomfortable. Felt like I was just wet the whole time. But the windows down with the humidity somewhat cooled me better. Out here, the windows don't really help you much. It just heats you up even more. So anyway, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com. I've done a couple videos for CJ5 tubs. We've turned over enough of them that I'll just continue to do a video every once in a while. So anytime when I show you something like this versus like a bare tub or a bare frame, it's what we consider a pre-dismantle. The pricing is a little bit less when we do pre-dismantle, so you can keep that in mind. It allows us to cash flow things. So if you are familiar with us, let me give you a little bit of information. Again, my name is Jeremy. It's Jeeps Unlimited is our company. Our website, also our DBA, partsbreakers.com. And our phone number is 303-666-9020. And we've been doing this, personally, I've been doing it for 21 years. The company that I own has been around since '84. And really just in the last 21 years, our tubs and frames have been really what has kind of set us apart from a lot of other parts yards, because we really go after the rust-free stuff. That doesn't always mean on the old CJs they're going to be completely rust-free. It's very, very difficult, so there's always a little give and take with them. But I would say, comparative to what's out there, they're pretty dang clean. So I don't have any absolutely stellar tubs right now. So I'll just put that as a 4 as far as a CJ5 does. I do think I have a nice CJ7 tub, but that one's also pre-dismantled. So maybe in this video, if I don't overheat this phone, and when it does, it'll just kick the video off. So I apologize if it just abruptly ends. I'll have to redo it later when it's a little cooler. But I'll show you these, like I said, and we'll go from there. And as far as frames go, I do have a couple frames for CJ5s and CJ7s as well. CJ7s, I'm pretty much out of the narrow track, the early, that's going to be your 76 to 81 frames. And then tubs, I think I have a later tub right now as well. And that may or may not matter to you. Just something I can explain more in detail. So again, let me show you this. This is a 5 tub, and I'll show it the best I can. It's a little bit squished in here, but now clearly when we do these, we'll price them the best I can as far as the condition I feel like, or I think that they are in, with, exceptions. There's filler back here. You can see the cracking in the Bondo. Now it could just be leveling filler. We won't really know that until we get it completely down. So I always price it for the worst. And that's one thing that you can save a lot in pre-dismantle, because if we get it apart and you have a deposit on something, it ends up being a lot better. Like, let's just say this was just leveling, which they used to do a lot of right out of the get-go. And I'm not saying it is. And like I said, I won't even be priced that way. But if it turns out that way and you already have it locked down, we don't up the price on you. So that's another reason for a pre-dismantle. So now, first and foremost, this is a non-tailgate. This is the way that some of these did come. And you can see that back here. When I first got in this a long time ago, I was just baffled. I didn't even know what that was. I thought it was somebody just sealed the thing up. And oddly enough, or strangely enough, I still have people to this day that think that. But hey, I thought that too one time. So, all right. And again, it's hard to say here. I mean, we can kind of reach around and see if there's damage. And it does feel like there's a little bit of crinkles back here. So this was probably hit on the corner, and then they filled it in to try to level it out for whatever they did. Now, corners usually just get replaced by body shops when they do this kind of stuff instead of doing what they did here. But maybe they were on a budget, and maybe somebody just did it in their home. It's very possible. So hard to see. Look, you get a free monitor with it. Man, it looks several monitors, it looks like. The weirdest stuff we find in these things. But the wheel wells look good though for what there is there, and it's again underneath the pads. We won't know until we get them, but those look pretty solid. There's a little bit of dings here. You can kind of see a little bend here. So I'm assuming this one's probably been hit as well or fixed. So a couple dings here. Actually, that one doesn't look like it was ever really fixed. It's got the typical rust here, which is going to be right here at the seams. And they usually do this pretty common. So not terrible, again. And the floor to the back, I mean, again, I'll have to pull stuff out of here, but we'll get it all washed and stripped down completely, but for what we can see. All right. And then going on up, it looks pretty good through there. Again, a little bit of filler there. And then the cowling, that looks good. The dash is an uncut dash. Not that that goes with the tub. We don't usually sell that stuff with it, but it's nice to see uncut dashes. There's a good steering column. Those are getting hard to get, even a fixed one. Seats are trashed. The bases are good, it looks like. And the floor has got so much sand in it, it's gonna need to be washed out, but it appears to be solid. I'll kind of price it to think there may be something there. I'm squished in between some tires, so it's a little bit more difficult. Like I said, I'll probably just price this one accordingly as far as what I think may or may not be, or may be wrong with it, as far as the tub goes, and make somebody a smoking deal on it. If we can get that tub locked down, we'll get it completely stripped. Now, here's the good news you have with our Prius Mantle. If we think this is a B grade, you can see there's some repair work that's been done there, or a C grade even. This would definitely not be a C, because I don't see there being a lot of damage. I mean, there's definitely some filler in it. There's definitely some work that's been done, but the floors look decent. The back looks good for what you can see here. I don't see any major repair work on these floors to be done. This under the seats look good. There is the typical rust spot. I can actually see some holes there. This is really, really common area on CJs, all CJs. And that's, you can see right there. So that's gonna need to be repaired there, both sides. Like I said, we're probably in a B grade, low B, and we'll price it accordingly for that. And if somebody's interested in it, we never, there's waiting. Well, what's the price? We don't list our pricing in our videos. There's a couple reasons for that. The main reason is that, remember, I've been doing this for 21 years, so pricing today is different than it was, even 5, 10, 15 years ago. Although we haven't increased our pricing over the years. Once we kind of figured out where things are and where things sell, we've just kind of kept it at that. But every once in a while, we get a guy that calls and asks about a tub, and usually it's long gone. Well, if I could get that one for that price, and it's like, it doesn't really exist anymore. So we just kind of price them as it goes. So just as a reference, right now, it is July 14th, 2025. 4th of July was last week, or ish. I guess it was a little over a week ago. Yeah, that's about it for that. So that's one of my better tubs that we have. And remember, right now we don't have a lot of really nice A grade. Matter of fact, I don't get very many A CJ5 tubs. That's borderline middle of the road grade, but it's about average for what we get in here. And I would just say anything else than that is usually worse. Now, this tub here would have been an awesome tub, other than they did a floor patch on it, which they didn't do a great job. So that takes it way down. This is definitely a C grade tub. That's not what makes it a C, although that's a bummer. What makes it a C is the weirdness they kind of did back here. And I don't really know what they did. They could have been trying to fix the weak spots they had. They gave this thing kind of a back diamond plate insert. And in doing it, they made it super strong, which is great for utility reasons, but that's that. I tell you what, I know for a fact why they did this. I mean, I don't know who owned this, but this was a non-tailgate. And I think the reason they did this was they were making it for a tailgate, because you can see here, these are add-ons, and you can see this channel here, which that other one had. So if you wanted to go back to a non-tailgate and you wanted to use this tub and get this for, cheap, we would pull this out of it, cut everything off and pull it out. And then you would replace whatever you need to replace. If you wanted it for a tailgate one, you might be able to use it as is. It just depends on, again, what you're using it for. If it's an old farm Jeep, you're just trying to get it better than what you have, and yours is pretty bad, this might do the trick. So again, the floors, it's working. It's not beautiful by no means, but it is functional. At least on this side. The other side's not bad at all. Otherwise, this wouldn't have been, if it would just been the floor, this would not have been a bad option. But with the floor being the way it is and the back being goofy, it definitely knocks it down to a C grade. Still a usable tub, especially if somebody's happened to have a back half that's good. Because the front half, I think, is decent on that one. Okay, and then the rest of them I have, we've had these in a few other videos. Most of these are YJs through here. There is 2 CJs here, and then I got one up at the front. There's the CJ7. That's like an 84, I believe. And I think that came out of California, so we should end up with a good tub. The transporter smoked my hood, which is a bummer. And the guys didn't catch it when he was offloading it, so looks like they got an air hose bleeding out over there. We'll have to fix, but. And then you got this guy, again, real low grade, lots of filler, lots of repair work. They have a welded in cage. The floors aren't bad though in it, and again, not bad for what it is. The back's got some corner dings. It's fair to say this one might be just a little cleaner than that other blue one, just because it doesn't have the repair work involved with it and whatnot. So I know there's a lot of crap in this one, but for what I can see of the floors, this one could be very well still a low grade B. Combined with that other one, you might have something there if you wanted to do, you know, if you like that other one better. Although I think this one has actually got an edge up on that one. There is a monster hole there that you need to fix. Kind of a common area to get blown out on these guys is this chunk here, but floors look solid. Even this back area, which almost always blows out, this one's solid here, and that one looks solid over there. So this is definitely a possibility for somebody. Again, always going to have a little bit of repair work. I hate to say always. There's a case. I mean, we just had a really clean CJ5. It sold the day we listed it. This one's trash. I don't think they're saving this one. I think it's been rolled, the cowlings. So, you know, every once in a while we'll hang on to these, and these still pop off sometimes for a couple $100. Sometimes people buy them because they're still sheet metal. They can save off of them. And other times people buy them just to do what this one was kind of done with, which is wheeling it. So for those purposes, you know, maybe, but otherwise, I'd probably steer clear of that guy. And then last one, a little bit of a walk up here, and I'm passing things that just came in stock. We just got an LJ in. So this should have a nice tub on it. It's got a Rhino line outside, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they're such a rare tub, it won't hurt the value too much on that. And then we'll have a nice frame there. And we just got a really nice LJ frame in too. So, and we'll walk up here, and I know there's a hornet's nest the size of a softball. I already got lit up by it once, so I'll try not to do that to myself again on the silver one up here. And I'll just mention a couple. I've had these Jeeps for a while. Finally ready at that point, either to finish the orange one off or sell it as a roller, possibly. And then we have this silver one that I got last fall. Both are similar year. I think they're both 84s or 85s. Both came out of California, not a spot of rust on them. They're both 7s, so not the 5s, but really clean Jeep. So this one's all original, and this one's been modified, but some good modifications, tasteful modifications, I should say. So that one's just a roller right now. There's no engine in it. We do have a brand new crated